It was a rainy Friday afternoon when Maya ducked into the cozy little pizza shop tucked between a bookstore and an old barber's place. She was soaked from the drizzle and a little winded from her walk home from college, craving something warm and cheesy to lift her mood. The bell above the door chimed softly as she stepped inside, the smell of oregano, garlic, and freshly baked dough immediately wrapping her in comfort. "One margarita slice, please," she told the boy behind the counter. He was around her age, with kind brown eyes and flour-dusted hands. His name tag said Ravi. "Coming right up," Ravi said with a smile, handing her a paper cup for water. There was something calming about his presence, like an old song you didn't realize you loved until you heard it again. Maya sat by the window, watching the rain tap gently against the glass, savoring each bite of her slice. She lingered a little longer than she needed to, enjoying the warmth of the shop and the quiet atmosphere. When she finally stood to leave, she tossed her trash and grabbed her bag, unaware that her wallet had slipped out onto the seat. Ravi noticed it only after the next customer pointed it out. He picked it up and flipped it open. Inside were a few cards, some cash, a student ID with her picture, and most importantly, a small card with an address written on it in neat handwriting. He hesitated for a moment. Most people might have turned it into lost and found, but something about the way she smiled, how peaceful she looked as she sipped her water and gazed out at the rain, it stayed with him. So he made a decision. After his shift ended, he grabbed his jacket and tucked the wallet into his pocket. The rain had slowed to a drizzle by the time he found the house. A small white gate, a flowering bougainvillea plant curled around the railing. He rang the bell and waited. Inside, Maya had just changed into her comfy clothes, a soft hoodie and joggers, when she heard the doorbell. She wasn't expecting anyone. Opening the door slightly, she was surprised to see Ravi standing there, holding up her wallet. "You left this at the shop," he said, offering a sheepish smile. Maya blinked, surprised and touched. "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Thank you so much. I can't believe you came all the way here." "It had your address in it," he shrugged. "Didn't want you to worry." She opened the door wider. "Do you want to come in for a moment? You must be tired. It's still raining a little." Ravi stepped inside, taking off his shoes politely. Maya offered him tea, and soon they were sitting across from each other in her small living room, mugs in hand, laughter beginning to spark as they talked about school, favorite pizza toppings, and music. What began as a small act of kindness turned into hours of conversation. The air between them slowly warmed with comfort and curiosity. As the evening turned to night, neither noticed the time slip by. By the time Ravi finally stood to leave, Maya hesitated at the door. "Hey," she said softly, "would you maybe want to meet up again sometime?" Ravi's face lit up. "I'd like that." And so began something new, not rushed, not fated by chance alone, but kindled by warmth, sincerity, and a shared slice of unexpected connection. The days after Ravi returned, Maya's wallet moved like the gentle current of a quiet river, natural, unforced, and quietly beautiful. They texted at first. A meme here, a "how's your day" there. Maya was surprised how easy it felt talking to him. Ravi was funny, sometimes a bit shy, but always genuine. He asked questions and actually listened. She found herself smiling at her phone more than she wanted to admit. A week later, they met again, this time not by chance, but by choice. It was Ravi's day off, and Maya invited him to her campus art exhibit. She was volunteering, helping display local student work. When Ravi arrived, she spotted him immediately. He looked a little lost among the abstract paintings and sculptures. "You're here," she called, waving him over. "Yeah, I wouldn't miss it," he said, stuffing his hands awkwardly in his jacket pockets. "Also, I really don't understand modern art, so I need a guide." She grinned. "Then you're lucky you know the best one in the building." They walked side by side, occasionally brushing shoulders as Maya shared what she knew. Ravi asked thoughtful questions, often more about her than the art. She told him about how she almost pursued graphic design instead of literature, how she always carried a sketchbook in her bag, and how her dream was to open a cafe that also sold secondhand books. By the end of the exhibit, Ravi had learned two things. Maya was someone who saw the world differently, and he really liked being part of that world. They sat outside the gallery afterward, watching the golden light stretch across the trees as the sun began to lower. Ravi handed her a coffee he'd picked up along the way, her name scribbled on the cup in neat handwriting. Only, instead of Maya, he'd written Wallet Girl. She laughed so hard she nearly spilled it. "You're never letting that go, are you?"
Never.
It's our origin story. As the weeks passed, their connection deepened. They didn't label it immediately. It wasn't just dating. It was friendship, interest, trust, late-night walks, pizza dates where they tried to guess each other's toppings, study sessions that turned into long conversations about family, fears, and dreams. Ravi shared his quiet passion for music. He played the guitar but never told anyone. Maya begged him to play something one evening, and he did, just for her, sitting on the edge of her couch with his head down and heart in his fingers. She clapped when he finished, her eyes shining. "You should play more. You're amazing." He looked up, that same smile from the pizza shop softening his face. "Only if you keep drawing." And so they pushed each other gently toward the things they loved. One evening, as autumn began to chill the air, Maya pulled out a small notebook and handed it to him. On the first page was a pencil sketch of him, behind the pizza counter, handing her a slice. "You drew this." "I draw everything I want to remember." Ravi looked at the sketch, then at her. "Then I hope I never forget this moment." Their hands touched, then held. No need for fireworks or perfect lines. Just warmth. Just truth. They didn't fall in love all at once. They built it, slice by slice, word by word, like the perfect pizza, made with patience, shared with care, and savored slowly. It had been 6 months since the lost wallet brought Maya and Ravi into each other's lives, and their bond had grown like ivy, steady, resilient, and full of quiet beauty. But every relationship faces a season of storms. Maya had applied for a competitive summer fellowship in another city, an opportunity to intern with a major publishing house. It was her dream, one she'd nurtured for years. When the acceptance email finally arrived, she was thrilled. Ravi was happy for her. Or, at least he tried to be. "That's incredible," he said when she told him, forcing a smile. "You deserve it." She beamed, wrapping him in a tight hug. But even in that moment, she sensed a slight hesitation in his voice, like a note in a song that didn't quite ring true. Later that night, as they sat on her rooftop under a sky dusted with stars, the silence between them was louder than usual. "I'll be gone for 3 months," she said softly. "It's not forever." "I know. You're not saying much." Ravi rubbed the back of his neck. "It's just, I'm scared, Maya. Not because I don't trust you. I do. But what if this changes everything?" She looked at him, her voice gentle. "Isn't that what life does? Change things? We can either fight it or grow with it." He nodded, but his heart felt heavy. The weeks leading up to her departure were bittersweet. They spent every spare minute together, movie marathons, late-night coffee runs, long walks where words barely mattered. But in the quiet moments, Ravi still wrestled with uncertainty. He had always been grounded, anchored to the small pizza shop, to his guitar, to his neighborhood. Maya was light, motion, dreams stretching far beyond city limits. The night before she left, they stood at the train station. Maya reached into her bag and handed him a small envelope. "Open it after I'm gone." He nodded, pulling her into a long hug that said everything he couldn't. When the train finally pulled away, Ravi sat on a bench and opened the envelope. Inside was a small sketch of the two of them, her holding a slice of pizza, him holding his guitar. Below it, in her handwriting, "We're not in the same place for a while, but we're still in the same story. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm saying hold this page. I'll be back to write the next one with you." He smiled, tears in his eyes. 3 months later, the pizza shop door opened with a familiar chime. Ravi looked up, flour on his cheek, and froze. Maya stood there, her suitcase by her side, tired and glowing. "I couldn't wait one more day," she said. He dropped the dough he was kneading and ran to her, wrapping her in a hug so tight neither of them said a word for a full minute. "I missed you," she whispered. "I missed you more," he murmured into her hair. "You're home." They sat together that evening on the rooftop, just like old times. No plans, no pressure. Just a sky full of stars and a shared silence that felt whole again. Because love isn't just about the moments you're together. It's also about who stays in your heart when you're apart. And in that moment, Maya and Ravi both knew. They weren't just two people who met by chance over a slice of pizza. They were two hearts that had chosen to grow through everything side by side. A whole year had passed since Maya first walked into Ravi's pizza shop with rain in her hair and hunger in her eyes. And in that time, everything had changed, and yet, the most important things had stayed the same. Maya had returned from her internship more confident, more certain about what she wanted. She graduated that spring with honors and had been offered a remote editorial role with the same publishing house. It wasn't flashy, but it was perfect. She could work from anywhere. Ravi, on the other hand, had taken a few bold steps of his own. With a little help from Maya and encouragement from friends, he started hosting weekend open mic nights at the pizza shop. What began with a dusty old guitar and nerves turned into a weekly event that packed the little space with music, laughter, and community. Together, they became something of a story in the neighborhood. People came for the pizza, but stayed for the warmth that Ravi and Maya brought to the place. Their quiet partnership, their easy chemistry, the way they supported each other, it was rare. It was real. On the night of their anniversary, Ravi had something special planned. He closed the shop early. Maya arrived just after sunset, confused when she found the windows dark and the door locked. But when she knocked, Ravi opened the door with a nervous smile and a bouquet of wildflowers in his hand. "I know you hate roses," he said.
She grinned.
"You remember." He led her inside. The shop had been transformed. Candles on every table, fairy lights along the windows, a single table set just for two in the center. Soft jazz played in the background. On the counter sat a heart-shaped pizza, half margarita, half pepperoni, their usual compromise. Maya blinked, touched beyond words. "Ravi, this is—" "I know it's cheesy," he said, laughing at his own pun. She rolled her eyes and laughed too. "Perfect. It's perfect." They ate. They danced slowly to the music. And then, Ravi reached under the counter and pulled out a small, hand-bound book. "I know you're the writer between us," he said, "but I made something." Maya opened it. Inside were pages filled with little notes, receipts, photos, napkins scribbled with quotes from their conversations, even her original sketch of the two of them, now colored and framed on the first page. The last page held a single question. "Will you keep writing this story with me?" She looked up to see him holding a small ring, simple, silver, and engraved with tiny music notes and a pencil. Her eyes filled.
"Yes."
1,000 times yes. Months later, they didn't rush a wedding. They didn't chase a big ceremony. Instead, they eloped in a small park under the same bougainvillea tree that bloomed outside Maya's old house. Just a few friends, a borrowed guitar, and vows whispered with teary smiles. They moved into a small apartment above the pizza shop. Maya worked from her sunny corner desk. Ravi wrote songs late into the night. They argued over what movie to watch, burned pancakes on Sundays, and fell asleep most nights laughing at things no one else would understand. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better, because it was theirs. A love that started with a forgotten wallet and a slice of pizza had grown into something deep, rich, and full of flavor, like the best stories, like the best lives.